welcome to my channel. We have recently been sent this robot vacuum cleaner to test out. It's actually also a robot mop and a robot broom as well, so it's multifunctional, and we've been trying it out around our house over the last couple of weeks. So here's what we think. So before we get into it, a quick word of warning where we went wrong very early on in this process. I was so seduced by this quick installation guide. We literally got it up and running in like minutes, so it's fantastic. And I love, it's simple to follow user instructions. So did all of the things on the front page here, simple, had it going. And then on the back is the connection to the app. Now I just scanned through this as well and we couldn't get it working first of all. Actually, that's because we didn't have it connected to the right Wi-Fi. It only supports 2.4 GHz and we had a higher Wi-Fi that we were trying to connect it to. So we actually, in our impatience, started just using it without the app. And we ran it for a week or so without the app. And it was great, but we were kind of wondering what it actually was up to half the time and we didn't have much control over it. So it was picking stuff up off the floor. Sure, our house was getting cleaner, but it wasn't really what this is all about. So before you get going, make sure you manage to hook it up with your app properly is what I would say. So I don't know what your expectations of a robot vacuum cleaner are. It's certainly something that's on most of our radars. And I think when we imagined a future with robots, this is kind of what we had in mind, right? I thought that perhaps it would be something that noisily and clumsily moved around our space and picked up a few bits off the floor, which I was all for, anything to lighten the load, absolutely. But my expectations weren't high. The reality was somewhat different. Now, if you're wondering how robot vacuum cleaners even do their thing and work, generally they are a similar kind of idea. They usually feature a couple of spinning brushes like these ones, and we've got spare ones here as well, and a rolling brush here. And they move around and suck up the dirt and debris and then deposit it in a little bin here, which you then go and empty. Although now there are actually versions of these that go and empty themselves onto another attachment on the wall. So you've got a bit more capacity in terms of what you can pick up before you have to change and empty it manually yourself. There's also an attachment for this one that fits on, which is for mopping, and you add water when you want to do that as well. And this is a little brush for cleaning. One other fairly important point actually is that they also feature laser and sensing technology, and that enables them to move efficiently around your space. So all around the front here, this is actually a laser, and that's what's going to tell the machine where to go, and it has a memory and it stores it so it can create maps of different rooms and different floors in your home or your office, wherever you're using it. This particular model can create 5 maps. So once we got the Smart Life app up and running on our phone, that was when this really came into its own. And there were 4 functions in particular that were the real kind of game changers with this. And that included the Smart Clean mode. So this was pretty cool. So before the first use, the robot vacuum cleaner can scan your environment and generate a map with smart area divisions. So this means that you can get it to not clean in certain areas. You can get it to avoid perhaps kids' play areas because there's lots of toys on the floor that you don't want to have to pick up all the time, or perhaps there's pets that you want to be careful of. So it's really good that you can make it like a bespoke cleaning plan for your home. Based on the existing area divisions, the robot will clean along the edges to form a closed area first, and then it'll fill in the area in a Z-shaped manner. And then clean the remaining areas one after one. So it's pretty cool. And then when it's finished that, it will then return to its base for recharging. So you can get it set up to clean key areas regularly, really, really simply. Another pretty cool function is the targeted clean. So this makes it really quick and easy to clean like just a small area. So for example, when our kids come home from football and empty out their boots and all those little beads from the 4G pitches all over the floor, quickly send it out, clean that up. It'll do a 1.6 by 1.6 metre square designated area, and then it'll come back for charging. So that's pretty cool. Another cool function is the designated clean. So basically once it's mapped your floor, it will know what the different rooms are. So maybe you just want it to go and quickly clean in the lounge. You can select that and set it off on its way to do that. It doesn't have to clean the whole floor every time it goes out to work. What's also quite cool is you can do customized cleans and restricted area setting as well. So the thing about actually trying to keep things a bit cleaner is you don't necessarily have time to tidy and pick up everything off the floor all the time. So you can just get it to do walkways or hallways or bits that get particularly messy in your house. You can click and even drag it and on the app and just make it clean that area. Also, you can restrict areas, like I said before, so you might forbid using a mop in certain areas where there's carpets, for example, but you might want to use the mop function in the kitchen on that floor, or you might want to just avoid any area where there's pets and animals or, anything precious or delicate, whatever else. So you can save that all into your settings and it will really get to know your space and it can give you a really bespoke clean that's suitable for your home. So overall conclusion, perhaps you can tell already from how closely I'm holding this to me that I don't want anyone to take it away, is that this is a great addition to our lives. Now, it's not the case that we're now sitting up on the sofa chilling out while it's taking care of all the vacuuming and cleaning. There is still work involved. You've still got to obviously clean up to get it going and everything else. But the nice thing is that you can have it running in the background while you do other things. It's so quiet. That's one of the things that's really blown me away about it. It's also really efficient. It's really effective. Really surprised. Initially, we weren't sure how much it was doing. Really surprised and actually quite shocked to then empty the bin after it hadn't even been, working for that long, and just how much it picked up, particularly the fine dust as well and the stuff that's hidden. So I think definitely our house is a cleaner place for it, and actually a healthier place as well, of course, because all that dust is, carrying just toxic dust, isn't it, in some cases, especially if you've got people in your house with asthma and allergies and things that you need to keep on top of. So this has definitely improved the environment in our home. It's made life easier. It's encouraged us to pick up stuff more off the floor and to clear up more often because we know how easy it is to get it clean now. Slight reservations about it. Well, I'm always a little bit nervous about any electrical product, especially when I don't really know the brand or where it comes from quite as well. I do actually always, as a bit of due diligence, I go on the product recalls website. I'll put the link down below where you can see what's been recalled recently. Firstly, to check that this particular model hasn't had any recalls or that anything similar in this product line hasn't. But also, if in general our robot vacuum cleaner is getting recalled a lot, are there a lot of problems with them? I did see a couple of models of lawnmowers that had got recalled, so that kind of made me think, right, same idea, that spontaneously caught fire, I think. Unfortunately, we recently had experience of our neighbour having a house fire. Really shocking how quickly, actually, it was an electrical fault and how quickly things took hold. And it was a bit of a frightening reminder of how careful we do all have to be about safety and electrical safety in particular in our homes. So therefore, on that note, I wouldn't leave it running and go out. It's a nice idea, isn't it? You go out for the day, come home and it's cleaned up for you. But I just wouldn't leave it running unless we were there to supervise it. I also wouldn't leave it charging. So we turn it off unless we're wanting to use it, then we charge it up. Makes it slightly less convenient, but that's just the reality of life, isn't it, in this day and age. So overall, yeah, definitely, if I hadn't been offered it, I would have gone and bought one of these, and I think it's something that's a permanent addition to our kind of cleaning equipment, have as well as the Hoover. I say that because in the back of my mind, I feel like we need the Hoover as well, maybe just to Hoover out the cars and the stairs, I guess, because this doesn't get up and down the stairs easily. But actually, I don't think we've had it out once since we've got this, so that is amazing. It has been taking care of the bulk of the work for us. That's all for today. Thanks so much for watching. I've got a really loud plane flying over now. Sorry about that. If you've got any of your own experiences, comments to add, please do so down in the box below. And of course, any questions as well, please just ask. But that's all for today. Bye.